And right now, we do have a late new update for you on a developing story we've been following tonight. Police find an armed man on foot and on the run from state troopers in Harden County tonight. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Proffitt. This all started as a chase in a car from Bowling Green, Kentucky, traveling north on I-65 into the Metro Louisville area, Harden County specifically, ending not far from that new Ford Blue Oval SK battery plant. Kentucky State Police say the man crashed his car there about 4 this afternoon near Glendale on I-65, then took off on foot through a cornfield. 3 hours later, he surrendered. We're going to pick up the story from there live right now with WHAS 11 Team's Clarice Shaley and photojournalist Aspen Hester. They've been in Harden County since earlier tonight. And Clarice, what did residents really know about the possible danger on this tonight?
Well, Doug, I ran into a few concerned about the situation in Glendale, but not enough to shut the town down. People were still out getting their dinners tonight, and business continued as normal with just a few miles away from the search area. The small town of Glendale busy with traffic, big trucks off the interstate passing through. I-65 was closed as Kentucky State Police and others hunted for a man called armed and dangerous.
I kind of felt like it was all contained. And
it all started with a traffic stop in Bowling Green where state police say a man wearing black clothing fled in a vehicle traveling north. That man wrecking around Glendale, then running off into cornfields. There's a manhunt going on right now. Not concerned?
No.
People out and about 2 miles away from the search area, while Kentucky State Police warned people the suspect was armed.
Like most of us, we kind of keep ourselves safe. We got measures around to keep ourselves safe. So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
Battery plant Blue Oval right at the interstate put their campus in lockdown while the search continued. The Whistle Stop restaurant in Glendale staying open, watching for more information to come in.
Had a couple of the servers a little concerned about it, just due to the fact that social media had a big play on everybody finding out.
Until the suspect was arrested. Looks like they actually just found him.
Did they?
Great relief in Glendale.
I'm sure the servers feel better about walking to their cars, and the cooks will be okay with that too, so we'll get by.
The news of that arrest came in just a few hours before Whistle Top did close, adding to that ease for workers tonight. And Doug, Aspen and I rushed out when we heard the news of the arrest to find that arrest scene. And a little around 8 p.m., the officers seemed to be opening up I-65, allowing cars to go through. And at this time, we don't know the ID of the suspect, and we don't have a mugshot at all as well. So that leads us to believe that he has not gone through the medical checks at this time. Live in Glendale, Clarice Shaley, WHAS 11 Team on your side.
All right, Clarice, thank you very much, along with Aspen Hester and that live new update there in Harden County. The United States rested its case today in the retrial of former Metro Police Detective Brett Hankerson. The defense getting its side started in federal court today in downtown Louisville as well. And on the stand today, 2 Metro police officers who were there during the raid on Breonna Taylor's apartment. Prosecutors calling LMPD Sergeant Brandon Hogan, who responded to the scene on March 13, 2020, as a member of that SWAT team after Breonna Taylor was shot and killed by police in her South End apartment. Hogan testified that he didn't see how an officer could have shot into that building given the circumstances that night. Meantime, the defense calling LMPD Detective Mike Nobles to the stand, who used the battering ram to break open Taylor's front door. Nobles told prosecutors he would not have fired the shots Hankerson did. No trial tomorrow. It resumes on Monday and could go to the jury early to midweek next week in this retrial. All news since 6 o'clock tonight. How is the Metro Police Department moving forward from the new History of Policing report that's just out by the University of Louisville? That history isn't good. Metro Police Chief Paul Humphrey held a town hall to talk about it. WHAS 11 Team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie talked to the chief and those in the crowd.
Okay, that's the Civilian Review Board.
Julina Frierson had a lot she wanted to discuss at the LMPD Town Hall in the California neighborhood. So she scribbled it all down.
So it's a lot of stuff on here.
But she wasn't happy, hoping to see more people engage in the conversation, including rank and file officers.
If you don't have the participation, real participation from the community and the the police on the ground, this is just not going to work.
There to face it all was the new police chief, Paul Humphrey, also addressing a lengthy U of L study that looked back at centuries worth of racial discrimination and abuse at the hands of local police.
I need to be able to explain to officers what's going on with their department and the decisions that are being made, just as much as I need to be able to explain that to the community so that they're comfortable with doing those types of things.
Also coming soon, the U.S. Department of Justice consent decree and its oversight of 35 required changes. The leaders on the panel said they've already implemented many of the recommendations from the DOJ's consent decree. But Chief Humphrey said there's always more work to be done.
There's no point where we're going to say that we won the Super Bowl and we're going to retire, right?
Humphrey says he hasn't lost focus on violent crime.
Ultimately, if we want to talk about community safety, the #1 priority is keeping people alive. And when you have 150 plus people being shot and killed and another 300 plus people being shot, those are families that are torn apart.
But moving forward, Frierson says change will only happen from the ground up. With that,
Those people, even with good intentions, they can't change it. Those, how many police? 1,200 police? It's got to come up from them and from us.
In Louisville, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS11 Night Team, on your side.
And happening tonight, the candidates for Indiana governor facing off in a final debate just 12 days to Election Day. Current Indiana Senator Republican Mike Braun is facing educator and former Republican superintendent turned Democrat Jennifer McCormick and also Libertarian Donald Rainwater. Tonight's debate covering a wide variety of topics, including abortion access, education, and gun reform. During a discussion on the state's red flag law, Rainwater said he was against the measure, while McCormick used it as an opportunity to attack Mike Braun's running mate, Micah Beckwith.
This goes back to the Beckwith-Braun ticket being so extreme. Micah Beckwith is one heartbeat away from that office, and we should all be paying attention. He has called for the red flag law to go away. I've had to use the red flag law as a local administrator to save lives in a school.
Beckwith has garnered much criticism during this year's election cycle. The controversial pastor was not Braun's original pick as running mate. Beckwith is known as a podcaster with far-right views, specifically on abortion, gender, and sexuality. Braun criticized McCormick's attacks on his running mate.
She constantly defaults to something other than what we're talking about, who's going to be leading the state. And my record on all these issues are clear.
In their final statements, Braun highlighted his business experience and track record as a senator. McCormick called herself the common sense and balanced candidate. Rainwater characterized himself as an average Hoosier, hoping to help his state. Big development in Kentucky today. Close to Election Day, candidate Nima Kulkarni will now appear on the ballot. Kentucky Supreme Court today tossing out the latest challenge to her candidacy. Today, Kentucky's High Court unanimously denying a petition aiming to disqualify the 40th District representative from re-election. That petition stems from her challenger in the Democratic Party primaries claims that Kulkarni improperly filed her campaign paperwork. Kulkarni's attorney responding to the outcome to keep her on the ballot, saying, quote, "Today's unanimous decision by the Kentucky Supreme Court was a big and final win for my client. This case has finally ended where we knew it would from the start." Kulkarni, again on the ballot, is running unopposed. Well, across the nation, the presidential candidates are hitting the swing states hard with less than 2 weeks away to Election Day. New polling is showing the presidential election could come down to just these 7 states: Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, also Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia down to the south. The Harris-Walz campaign turning to star power to help pull voters. Tonight, Harris rallying in Georgia with former President Barack Obama and several high-profile celebrities, including Bruce Springsteen. Meantime, musician James Taylor appearing with Harris's running mate Tim Walz in North Carolina.
I'm honored to be on this ticket with Kamala Harris. Our team is running like everything's on the line, mainly because everything's on the line.
It's now a tight race, and former President Donald Trump is in Arizona, rallying around illegal immigration, blaming Vice President Kamala Harris for what he calls an open border.
We're a dumping ground. We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened to. We're like a garbage can.
More than 30 million Americans have already cast their ballots in the November election. Early voting underway in Indiana, and no excuse early in-person voting will begin in Kentucky on Halloween, October 31st. And as you know, Election Day is Tuesday, November 5th. Well, election night, we're going to be on the air and online. First results at 6 and then at 7, streaming on WHAS11 Plus and the WHAS11 YouTube channel. At 11, after ABC News election coverage, we're right here with the WHAS11 night team. We'll have the best analysts in town, Iris Wilberglick and David Tandy will be right here uncovering election night surprises for you live. We'll see you on election night. Going to be exciting. New tonight, Kentucky State University has launched 3 mobile health units across the state. One of those 3 right in West Louisville's Park Duval neighborhood. The mobile health units are equipped to diagnose and treat several conditions that increase people's risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Organizers say these units are specifically designed to target communities who would otherwise be unable to visit a hospital or a clinic. Neighbors we talked with tell us they're excited about these new options for health care.
There's a whole lot of people in neighborhoods, include mine, that don't have transportation. And, you know, for the truck to, or whatever the unit come down through the street and neighbors come out, you know, that's what we used to do in the old days.
The efforts to mobilize these units were supported by state agencies as well as the Park Duval Community Health Center and Jefferson Community and Technical College.